We try and do things different here. One of the things that we're doing is the apiary, which is good for the environment, good for the bees, will produce honey. And the area has a forest on it, which is a tropical hammock forest, which is unique to all of Florida. It's only found down here in the south part of Miami-Dade and Broward counties. And the bees will travel out and gather from the flowers of the forest, and the honey should be tasting very unique and very delicious, as we're going to call it hammock honey. And it should be ready in about a year.
Having bees on the property were one of those things that we always wanted to do, because European honeybees are having all kinds of problems all over the world due to pesticide usage and herbicides, those kinds of issues. So we knew we wanted to, we just hadn't gotten to that point where anybody moved forward to do it. And one day, not too long ago, we had a swarm land in the cabin. In Bruce's typical nature, he's like, oh, let's have 10 hives over here. We're gonna start that apiary now.
Bees are one of those species that are suffering a lot, suffering by pollution, suffering by pesticide application, and Dade County is an agricultural area, and directly and indirectly they are being affected, and we see less and less bees in our gardens, in our green spaces. So one way that Patch of Heaven is helping is having beehives and teaching, especially children, about the importance of protecting and raising bees.
Linda Friedman from Gen 2050, which is aptly named because these are the kids that are going to be reaching, their maturity in 2050. I mean, they'll be 30, 40, and dealing with the consequences of what we're doing now, whether it's good or bad. And in the scheme of things, she's teaching environmental stewardship and social responsibility through teaching them to be bee certified beekeeper. So we complement each other, where her group's servicing under-resourced kids, she has the education part of it, where she has the hands-on with those kids that need placement or need experiences that we're able to provide, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a good overlay between the two groups. And hopefully that's going to last for a long time, because it seems to be Kitsman. because it's just, Bruce has this saying. Bruce says, oh, it's meant to be. It's Kitsma. Kitsma means that it's fate in Yiddish. And since he's Jewish, he knows some Yiddish words. But he's exactly true. People fall into our lives here within what we're doing in that kind of way. And she came in with her program of Gen 2050 at just the right time. And it's a great blend of who we are, the Patch of Heaven Sanctuary, and who she is in her group, Gen 2050.
And we're also producing a lot of honey and a lot of pollen. And believe it or not, they are reproducing so fast that now we are giving away hives, and people are very interested in getting a hive from us.
So that was probably 4 months ago. So we contacted a local bee person, and he came in. He had somebody who built the hives, built the actual structure for us, because we kind of knew this would be something we'd reach out and be educating people on. And in the meantime, Bruce is sending me, because Bruce does a lot of outreach on his own. He's, my job, over the years, has changed, and it's tied up more now as director. And that includes dealing with employees and design plans and how to move everything forward. And dealing with the new nonprofit, which adds another whole layer of paperwork and education, because I'm not familiar with how they work. But we've managed to get to this point where we are just through educating ourselves. But we have a lot more to do. So the apiary is like, oh, he had reached out to somebody, say, oh, call this lady. She seems nice. He'll read things in newspapers and reach out to everybody. So just so happened, just about the time we were building the apiary, I reached out to this lady, and I really wish we'd had gotten some film footage of her today. Wonderful lady, works with under-resourced youth up in Miami Gardens. She has 4 hives that she teaches kids to become certified beekeepers. So I called her up. I said, hey, we have an apiary. I need help. Because she was certified and she does classes and certifications. So she came down and she was like, oh, this is great. Over the summer, she has a summer camp with the youth. They came down. The apiary wasn't quite ready. She brought her kids down. They did work in the forest, helping us remove exotic weeds, which are coming in like crazy now due to the hurricane, and we lost some big trees. And it's just the simple forest cycle of, after a hurricane, there's lots of openings in the canopy of the forest. So anyway, she dropped into the Patch of Heaven at the right time to start collaborating with us on the apiary part of what we're doing, and that helps her and her students, because she doesn't have enough hives to be able to train all the kids that want to learn about beekeeping. So now we've started this new collaboration where she's working with us, and actually starting in 2 weeks she's starting a class, and it'll be here on site, teaching anybody in the public who wants to learn about bees and beekeeping and raising their bees for honey. And she's also going to be training myself and one of my colleagues how to become bee certified, because we have an apiary and I'm doing this. I know how to go in. I've been stung already, but so I always learn the hard way, but I'm learning.
Just a second. This light over here is going off. And
The apiary, bees, you know, which for people who are scared of bees is important. You know, it's basically 4 walls around the apiary, and people can look at the activity of the bees coming in and out of the hives in kind of a protected space through windows. So especially children who are a little hesitant to get involved with bees, it's a nice structure. Bees, like bats, you know, get a bad reputation sometimes for being stinky or stinky. They stink on you, and it's a little painful. But other than that, having honey and pollen and pollinating our food or food crops is very, very important.